Chelsea's sudden move for Fermín Lopez arrived like a shockwave that could ripple all the way through European transfer headlines. The Blues have reportedly opened contact with the young Spaniard's camp, and multiple outlets are now talking about a figure in the region of Euros 50 million that might be enough to force Barcelona's hand. For a player who rose through La Masia and has in the last season begun to stake a claim as one of the most promising attacking midfielders in Spain, the possibility of a Stamford Bridge switch is both a flattering escalation of his profile and an immediate test of Barcelona's priorities. At Barca, Hansi Flick's midfield is crowded with star names: Pedri's creative control, Frenkie de Jong's engine, Gavi's tenacity, and several other established options. But Fermín's blade runs, goal threat, and link-up play gives Flick a different weapon, one that has already created match-deciding moments. Chelsea appear to have judged that Fermín's trajectory and adaptability make him a sensible target for the Premier League. But what complicates everything is timing. This is a transfer story about money, registration windows, squad balance, and a player standing on a razor's edge between two massive footballing projects. The fee on the table, reported by several outlets, would represent immediate, tangible cash for Barcelona at a time when club accountants and sporting directors are juggling registration deadlines and pending arrivals who cannot be fully integrated until certain exits are confirmed. That calculation is brutal but simple. Sell a promising midfielder now, and you solve a ledger problem that allows you to register new faces. Keep him, and you preserve a sporting asset who might blossom into a long-term cornerstone. For the player himself, the decision is far from trivial. A move to Chelsea promises a fresh challenge in a more physical league, a new manager with different demands, and the pressure and payoff of Premier League expectations. Staying at Barca means continuing development inside a familiar system, competing for minutes in a glittering midfield, and remaining part of a project that will likely give him chances in big Champions League fixtures. From the club angle, Barcelona faces a balancing act: short-term financial relief versus long-term sporting stability. From Chelsea's perspective, the interest shows ambition but also highlights the structural constraints the club faces. Big offers require cleared space elsewhere, and the Blues themselves have to manage sales and registrations to avoid sporting or regulatory fallout. There is another layer here. Reported contacts have so far been with Fermín's entourage rather than direct club-to-club negotiation, which leaves the story mobile and fast-moving. That means in practice the next day or two could determine everything. The reported 8-hour window being discussed in some reports turns this from rumour into a real ticking clock. Imagine a scenario: a signature, a registration completed, and suddenly the dominoes fall, a backup leaves, a bench spot opens, and the narrative of the transfer window flips. Or imagine the opposite: Barcelona refuses to budge, rejects an offer seen as insufficient for the player's potential, and Fermín stays, leaving Chelsea to pivot to plan B. For fans on both sides, the stakes are visceral. Barca supporters weighing whether financial necessity justifies selling one of their exciting young talents, Chelsea fans dreaming of a stylish, creative addition who can unlock opponents in midfield. For the player, it's a private decision made public. Lifestyle, playing time, development trajectory, and long-term ambitions all factor into what will likely be a high-pressure call. The transfer window rewards speed and punishes hesitation. Sources suggest talks so far haven't matured into formal negotiations between clubs. But the appetite is clear, and the money being discussed means this story is not a passing rumour. Over the next 48 hours, expect statements, agent movements, and perhaps a formal approach that will force Barcelona to make a choice, one that will speak volumes about how the club navigates immediate pressures without sacrificing its sporting plan. Until then, the football world holds its breath, because when a young star and a big offer meet a tense deadline, the result rarely stays small. It changes squad sheets, fan expectations, and sometimes the direction of an entire season.